For me, education was a vocation because of the family connection it had. My grandmother was a teacher, my mom worked in an education setting. I realized as I got older with more experience that meaningful change and meaningful service really happens on a personal level. And what better way to do that on a daily basis than teach?
I went to a Catholic grade school, and I loved the closeness that I had with my class. There was a class of 60 of us. I liked knowing everyone in my class. I liked the community aspect of a small Catholic school.
I was a senior high school. My pre-calculus teacher, the class that I teach now, Annie Weiss is her name. She is the one that suggested in a parent-teacher conference that I would be really good at educating, because I think my interactions with my peers in the classroom, my understanding of the concept knowledge, and she was able to plant that seed.
God told me I had to. This was not my plans to go into education, and so God put me in a path to be an educator. He said, "This is what you're going to do," and I said, "Okay."
Being an educator, I, of course, bias. I think teachers are some of the hardest working people in the world and most selfless. They're making others' lives so rich.
They go out of their way to make sure that their students can apply the material, and they go out of their way to show how they exercise the church to us.
Love, that's what I do. So anytime my kids need me, if they're crying, if they're sad, if they're anxious, if they're mad, I take my time out of my day and make sure that they're okay.
Andrean has helped me to grow as an educator because it provides different challenges every day with student interactions, enabled me to change my class schedule to be able to get my master's, to pursue my own personal goals, to take a step outside of my comfort zone to become a more well-rounded individual as well as educator.
Andrean was the right place to go and teach for me because Andrean is home and Andrean is family. After spending 4 years here as a student and seeing the great impact and preparation it instilled upon me for college and the early aspect of my career, I always knew that I wanted to give back to Andrean in some capacity. And I never thought that I would come back to teach, but I'm still here.
Kids understanding that they have a voice. As older people teach, they forget that our young people are human beings too. Key to them learning and growing from my teaching perspective is I have relationships with them. I go and talk to each individual student, learn about who they are, and I think we just build trust over time. They see me as being like a mentor or friend, and they see me as their educator.
For those first few years, you're always trying to make sure your lessons are done on time and your homework is all graded, or you're giving back to all the students, which I think is very important. But I think something that I overlooked is getting out in the hallway and seeing the students as more than just students, and then also seeing the faculty as more than just people that I work with. Those memories and those relationships are almost more important than having the perfect lesson for the Pythagorean theorem.
I get kids that will reach out to me after they graduate and just go, "I'm so thankful that you taught me this because now I know it and I needed it for college and you did that for me." Or just they reach out to me and say, "Hey, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have graduated. I needed somebody to help me through those hard times." It humbles me and it overwhelms me.
Oh, I think that I was greatly inspired by my teachers and my administrators and people that I worked with and people that I worked for. I think that we're only as strong as the inspirations, mentors, and leaders that we've had in our life. And I've been blessed with many of them and think of them on a daily basis.
I returned to Andrean because throughout my application process after I graduated from college, I wanted to really pursue coaching, and that was an opportunity to get involved because I wanted to be a part of the community that helped to mold me.
Our vocation is a crucial call in our life as members of the Catholic faith, and that we are called to do great things. I think that is a very subjective term, but we're all called to do what we are called to do with humility, with greatness, and with drive.